So there's US prod, there are a bunch of SBX environment, there is NA prod, there is EUSBX, EU prod, there are true central sandboxes, and like all this, right? So if I close this, these are just me connecting to all the billing databases in the different regions. So the 9 environments that I said, so I most likely should have like 1 against 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm missing one. I don't know which environment I don't have for. Right?
Okay,
so this
say that yeah, I had a quick question. Like, what is the sandbox environment actually used for? Like, I mean, staging is for all test stuff, and production is for where the code runs, and like what is the use of
sandbox? What is sandbox used for, and what is central sandbox used for, right? Because staging is where we deploy our code first. So you do develop, you put it to staging, it is like an integration, and we see production is self-explanatory, as in that is where the customers are. Good question. API sandbox is the first layer which is given free to the customers. That is customer sandbox environment, you can think of. What is a sandbox? It's more like an environment where the customers, when they are getting onboarded to Zuora, they want to integrate with Zuora and test Zuora integration, right? So it's a test bed for the customers, which is given to the customers for free. That is API sandbox. So again, the terminologies are very confusing here. So if you say a sandbox, there is API sandbox, which is basically the US sandbox is what is referred to as API sandbox. Then there is NA sandbox, and then there is EU sandbox. So again, it is a test bed you can think of for our customers. So staging is a test bed for us. API sandbox is a test bed for our customers. Then what is central sandbox? So API sandbox, I clearly called out, it is a free offer that we are giving the customers, that we will onboard them like before customers get onboarded into billing production, they will get onboarded into API sandbox billing platform, and the customers can test and integrate with Zuora, and then it will go the next level. Now what is central sandbox? Central sandbox is a paid offer where we copy all the customers' production data into central sandbox, so that now customers can test with their production data when they want to release some new things or integration with Zuora. Okay, so staging is purely for development, our development. API sandbox is first test bed for the customers, and central sandbox. So API sandbox is the customer's test data, but in central sandbox, the customers have their production account. We copy their production account into central sandbox, because there are customers who say that, hey, we want to check because we have released something, or Zuora's released something. We want to test it out first with our production data. Only if it passes there will I push it to the production environment. So that is central sandbox, and they have to pay us for that. Okay. So now what I was getting at is, I was just showing that, there are these different billing environments. And now if you look in production, you see a bunch of these Zaps 07, Zaps 08, Zaps 13, Zaps 14, all these Zaps, right? What are these Zaps? Again, please, Prasoon, don't ask me what Z-Apps means. Zuora apps.
Yeah.
Okay? No, you can ask whatever. I was just kidding. Okay? So these are all the shards. Remember I said, like Zoom's data would be in one shard. Shard means a physical database system, right? And in a physical database system, there can be multiple schemas. So I'll not complicate too much, but this is literally representing that. Like, see, DAZN is one. Cisco has got another shard. Paycor. So these are all different customers, and each of them have a different database instance that is set up for them, because they are large customers, right? So they have their dedicated shard. Similarly, if you go to like what is EU prod, right? Mr. NL is our favorite customer. They are sitting in EU prod. Then there will be NA prod. There are a bunch of customers sitting like GM, Indeed. They are all sitting in NA production. So these are all the different shards. So now if I pick on a particular one, for example, I go to Zoom. Where is Zoom? US prod.